Hey, what's up everybody? It's Yelo Autosports. So today I got a Porsche 911 and today I'm just going to show you how I do my interior, okay? So I'll just talk to what I'm thinking in my process as well as why I'm using the specific tools that I am using. This car is not very dirty. I actually detailed this car about 2 months ago. He took it on a rally, came back, so it's pretty clean. You know, it's what you would expect from most Porsche owners. Every detail is different. Every interior is a little different, but I usually tackle them the same way. It's just that some interiors which are dirtier obviously may need a second, third, fourth pass to get to the desired result. Also make sure that when you do the interior, always let your client know what you're seeing before they take out from your shop so that you can give them a realistic expectation of what they will get at the end. And that's all. So feel free to just watch the rest. If you got any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the page, and let's get right into it.
Alright, so the very first thing I do is I just take all the floor mats out. First thing I like to do is just using the Tornator. Now this thing is 45 bucks. You can find it on Amazon. This tool is a very clutch tool to use. It's going to kick off all the dirt, sand, any debris that's on top of the carpet is going to kick it off with the compressed air. So that knocks out the majority of all the work that I have to do already. Then I just come back with a vacuum everything back up, and usually I'll repeat this process at least 2-3 times. That'll at least make sure that I get any of the loose particles off. Then I'll come back and I'll just steam it. So with the steamer I also use a all-purpose cleaner that I usually dilute 1 to 10. I try not to make it too aggressive. I will have one that's a little bit more concentrated, such as a 1 to 4 or 1 to 6. It's really up to you how concentrated you want it to be, but if there's stains on seats or stains on carpet, you're definitely going to want to be using a more aggressive mixture. For the carpet general cleaning, since it's not too dirty, I just go 1 to 10. I mist it all across, steam it, and then I just use a microfiber towel to kind of just scrub the carpet just by hand. Going over to the inside, first thing I do is I like to vacuum first before actually using the Tornator. The reason for that is if the ground is really filthy. If I use a Tornator in that case, I'm just going to kick off so much dirt, so much sand, dust around the whole cabin of the vehicle. And it's usually going to make it just much harder to clean. It's going to have more things for me to have to go chase after. So if you vacuum first initially, kind of just pick up the majority of the things that are on the surface. Then I can come back with a Tornator and I know I'm going to be kicking the things that are deeper in the carpet, as opposed to kicking big rocks and stuff like that and damaging any potential interiors. So one thing to note when I do the interior, especially when I'm doing any sort of steaming for the interior, you never want to take that steam gun and just put it like 2 inches away from the surface that you're going to use, okay? It's just too aggressive. The pressurized steam, I mean, it's really hot. It could damage, it could penetrate into some of the electronics, stuff like that. So you can still use it in a safe manner and basically just keep a nice distance from whatever you're aiming at. But I really do love using the steam gun. It just breaks down a lot of the buildup that you're going to have, whether it be just gunk or old dirt or anything like that. It just does a great job at steaming it and just kind of disinfecting the surface at the same time in combination with the product. For the door jambs, it's never anything too crazy. You know, just wipe them down, just make sure they're clean. The door jamb usually is the first thing a client tends to notice when they open their car. Even if you've made a really clean exterior, when a client opens up their car door, the first thing they usually look at is the interior door jamb, and if you have not done a good job cleaning that part for them, then you've pretty much already failed the whole detail. So never slack on that part. It should be the last thing that you check on and make sure that you did. For the interior door panel, same thing. I just steam everything. There's times when, if it's really dirty, let's say it was tan, if it's a tan interior and it's just got a ton of body grease, body sweat, makeup, things like that on there, you can use a lighter APC with a brush. I like to use it on a drill. I'll use a brush that I cut specifically and I throw it on the drill head. The drill just gives me that extra little power. Make sure that you use a really soft brush that's got very soft fibers. You don't want to damage any of that. Going into the interior, you know, whether it be the shift knob, the e-brake, the steering wheel. I use kind of the similar method. I just address everything by hand for the most part. There are times when I will need to pull out either a toothpick or just a finer tool, because you're gonna have some gunk that are somewhere in between a tighter nook and crannies. That's a time when you want to use a small tool. But generally, if you just adjust everything by hand and just really pay attention to what you're looking at, just don't pass anything over. Everything that you see, if it's in front of you, if you see dust, you see anything that's just dirty on it, then you should address it. Once again, when you're using a steamer, just use a safe distance. I'll try not to get too close to electronics. I mean, this is a Porsche. You don't want to mess any of the electronics and have to fix that. It's just going to be really costly for you. And so once I've wiped everything down, what I like to do is I usually come back with a dressing. I like to use hyper dressing from Meguiar's. It's a water-based dressing, so it tends to dry really nice. It gives you some sheen without giving you too much gloss. Some of the cheaper detail places that I've seen and visited in the past before I owned my shop is they would do really greasy oil-based dressings. The things about that I'm not a fan of, and it's all a personal choice, but you want to deliver back to your client. But I just believe that the oil-based ones are just too shiny, and so I just like to stick to the water-based ones. Anyway, just a really quick rundown. If you got specific questions, make sure you ask me about them. I just wanted to show you real quick, and I hope that you learned at least a few things real quick in this short little video.
Alright, so that's it. Pretty simple. The detail took me about an hour inside, so about 15 minutes a section pretty much. And like I said, there was not that much to be picked up on this vehicle, so it made the job just a lot easier. Not every vehicle is going to look this way. Some jobs, when they get really rough, I actually go to an hourly rate, so you'll have to determine what the hourly rate is for you. But as we all know, some interior details can be really rough. Not only can they be really dirty, but they can also just be a tight space to work in, right? And so for that, charge appropriately. Charge what you think is going to be fair to you. As your business gets better, as you have more years in the game, obviously you should ask exactly what you think your worth is. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this really short, quick video on an interior detail on this Porsche. This one specifically is going to go out, and this one is a 3-hour job that I did custom because I've already seen the client not that long ago, and that's going to be around $300. So that's all I got for you guys. Reminder, if you got questions, leave them in the comments below, and subscribe to the page. I will post more content like this, and hopefully you can learn something from my experience. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.